Good morning and welcome to the Big Agent Meeting. My name is Russ Laggan. I will be your host today for the Big Agent Meeting. It is May 17th. We are kicking off this month strong. We've got a bunch of really great stuff we've already done. And boy, oh boy, do we got some good stuff coming your way today. We're going to kick off today really straight right out of the gate with Victoria Koster, VP of Marketing. We're going to be talking about the buyer agent stuff and the kit that comes along with it. If you guys don't know about that, you need to know about that. It's got some amazing things in it. We're going to go into detail with that. And then we're going to kick over to Bryon Ellington, our Chief Learning Officer, to talk with Stephanie Stone-Robb about working as a buyer's agent and more buyer's agent stuff. So in this market right now, there are shifts that are going on, and we're going to be helping you guys guide through that. So we're going to kick off today right out of the gate with our VP of Marketing, Vice President of Marketing, Victoria Koster. Why don't you come on down, Victoria?
Russ,
Hey,
good
hey.
morning.
I'm glad you're
Buyer's
back.
agent stuff episode.
Yeah, why don't you come here more often and hang out with us? I don't know why you don't say yes
You
all the time.
know, I'm starting to take it personally, Russ. We haven't been together since you didn't have hair, so it has been months, sir. It has been that length of months in time since
There you
we've
go.
been together on BAM. It's great to be back.
I'm glad to have you back. Always have interesting stuff to talk about. Marketing, like most people don't realize that they get into the real estate business, they're a
Right.
marketing person, right? So like
Yep.
marketing is key to surviving in this business. So we're glad to have guides like you helping us along with this. So what do we got today? What are we getting into today?
So we're really excited to announce to all of you that our shiny new offering, the EXP Buyers Kit, is officially available in our marketing center as of late yesterday. We posted on social yesterday. You all got an email from Wendy Forsyth, our CMO, also linking you to the Buyers Kit. And now here we are talking about it in real time.
That
So
is
this
fantastic.
kit is just meant to make every first impression count. And if you all joined us for the NAR settlement and buyer call yesterday with Holly, Kendall, and Leo, we talked about you need to treat your buyers like you do your sellers. So
Yeah.
what we've done with this kit is created a comprehensive set of resources that are designed to empower you with all of the tools you need to enhance your buyer interactions and streamline their home buying process. So Russ, similar to the listing kit that we presented at EXPCon back in October, this is the equivalent to that for buyers. So inside of that buyer's kit, you're going to get a set of 10 presentation folders that have your fully customized buyer presentation, along with a bunch of other printed materials like a house hunting checklist, lender recommendations, an open house comparison chart, among others. So we're super excited about everything on here. And it's something that like you'll be able to customize for yourself. It's going to make your lives easier. It's going to make your interactions with your clients much more effective and value driven, which I think in this new chapter we find ourselves in with the settlement and everything taking place over the next few months is more important than ever, right? Like you want to be able to drive that value and articulate your value prop and give that exceptional service to your buyers.
Yeah, that's a fantastic pile of tools to go with it. Now, I saw back on the last slide, you said you had a checklist in there. What kind of checklists are in there?
Yes, so a house hunting checklist. I think it's recommendations for what agents need to make sure that their buyers are looking for as they're going through a particular house, when they're going through a day full of showings, like I remember doing with my buyer's agent. What are you looking for? What are you making sure that you're checking out consistently from one home to the next? And I think
Good.
everyone loves a checklist, right? So there may be different versions of checklists. That's the one that comes to my mind as
Yeah.
something that is going to be super valuable as a buyer working with you.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting as we go through this game. One of the things I say all the time is don't tell them, show them, right? It's like
Totally.
tell them, hey, I do a bunch of stuff, right? I think a huge part of the reason why we're in the situation we're in right now is that buyers don't really understand what we do. And the
Right.
worst part about it is that if we actually get into this game and start doing a really good job, and we do a great job as an agent, we insulate them from 50 or 60 different steps, and they have no idea what we're really doing for them. So the ability to actually articulate exactly what we are doing and exactly how it goes. It's like showing them the recipe, and then you're working through the recipe and they're like, oh, I know what I'm doing now because that's part of the recipe. So I love
Right.
that. It's absolutely
Well, and
fantastic.
you know what happens next, and that's huge, right? Especially in that process. And
Yeah,
speaking about articulating your value and showing versus telling, the buyer presentation is what is fully customizable in these kits for us. So
nice.
that lets everyone ensure that like you're reflecting in the best way possible your unique value to your clients. You can add your own testimonials, your own buyer stats, and Leo and Holly and Kendall mentioned this on the call yesterday. Have you done a deep dive and reached out to your past buyers over the past few years to understand like what was that experience like? I'd love to get a testimonial if I didn't get one.
Yeah,
Do you know, how long it takes you to find their buyer their new home? How many weeks on average is a buyer working with you before you get them under contract? That's going to be huge to add as a
yes.
stat in your buyer presentation. The other one that we recommend is like, what's your What's your negotiability, right? Like how much percentage of negotiability are your buyers within range? How many of them are coming in under budget?
Yeah.
Whatever you think your buyers are going to be really interested in knowing is going to be crucial to
Yes.
mention in your buyer presentation, which is the piece within the kit that you can customize and make your own. All the other
Absolutely.
assets, Russ, are largely static. And that just makes it easy for everybody to have physical copies whenever
Yes.
they need them. Like you're going to walk a client through the process, you have everything you need to bring to the table with you and ready to go. So just
That's
trying to make that super easy and give everybody a tool that we think is going to really empower and elevate the way that those experiences are going now and in the future.
Yeah, so I think I don't think anybody ever said, "Hey, you know what? My business plan is I'm going to meet with a buyer and I'm going to wing it." Well,
Right. We're just going to
that's
see
not
what happens. We're going to tap dance.
it's not their plan, but it's unfortunately what a lot of them do. And I'm like, well, what do you bring with? Like, what do you bring with you to walk it through? Like, what is your recipe? What are the steps, and how are you going to do this? And if you don't walk them through that, then you literally are just winging it. And when you
Yeah.
ask them, they're like, no, 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 I shouldn't wing it. Like,
Right. Right. Let's
that
have a plan. And speaking
yeah,
of a plan, we have a QR code that we're going to throw up on screen to make
excellent.
sure that if you're as excited as we are about this buyer's kit, you're able to scan this kit now, this QR code now, and order your kit today. This is available right now, everybody, and you can personalize it now, order it today, and you'll probably have it in a few days ready for next week's showings with your buyers. And as always, like input is super valuable so that we're forever making the best possible resources for all of you and your clients. So do share your thoughts with us. You can always send something to us on moremarketing@exprealty.net, or you find me on Workplace Chat. I will take any feedback as it comes and make sure that we're applying and being thoughtful about the changes that we're making for everybody.
That's
But
fantastic.
Russ, there is more. There's
Oh,
just one more, and then I'll let you all go.
all right.
So you can keep all your shiny new buyers kits organized, protected, readily available in an all new branded trunk tote and storage box that is available, two different options available in our brand store. So once you order your buyer's kit, you're going to get instructions on how to get to those trunk totes in your checkout confirmation. And there's a special little promo code for the trunk totes once you've placed your buyer kit order. In case you want to like get your buyer kit, please do that. And then if you want to keep those protected, it's just going to put it in a box so that they're not rolling around in your trunk and getting all kinds of crazy, like the stuff in my trunk, because I have a toddler. Not like that. Please don't have a toddler trunk. You can have the box protect everything that you have, so they're super crisp and clean and organized for you anytime you need them.
Yeah. So you put that in the back with your surprise
Yep.
kit. Like you got to, most of the real estate agents, if they're smart and they've done this for more than 5 minutes, they have some really normal stuff in their trunk, which is weird to everybody else. But you have an extra roll
Right.
of toilet paper, probably a gallon of water just in case the toilet doesn't flush. You
You
have
never know.
bear spray. I mean, there's like any cop
Bears.
going, what is going on down here? It's just a realtor. And they're like, oh, never mind. Okay, got it. So this helps keep that organized in the trunk so it doesn't get run over by your bear spray when it's rolling around.
Precisely. Yes.
Good. Okay.
Organize your bear spray accordingly. And then we would love for everyone to like show us how you're putting your kits and these tote boxes and your bear spray to
Yeah.
good use. So like as everybody's getting your kits, we'd love to see you using them and putting them to good use in your day to day. So please do tag us on Instagram and we will be reposting these on our channels to just show the different ways and the different uses for the buyers kits in real life, working with your buyers and how they're coming across. We'd love to see those in action.
I hate to give you a free suggestion, but I think we should start a workplace group that says, show me your trunk. Right? I could go a
It's a
bunch
group, it's a hashtag. I mean, I'm curious. Nobody wants to see my trunk though.
Let's see
Although
your trunk.
my husband did just get rear-ended yesterday, so the trunk is already was already looking a little sad, and now we got to get that sorted out. He'll be fine.
It's
Everything's
got
fine.
a little remodel. It's okay. Changing the space around, right?
If I had the tote box, it would have been protected.
There you go. All right. Well, there you go,
Awesome.
Victoria Coster. I love this. I love that you guys are out on the forefront of this and making sure that agents don't have to figure it out. So get this, guys, and use this tool to help you systematize what you're doing. So hit that QR code now and take a look at that. And worst case scenario, just walk through it. Make sure you got the parts and pieces so you can look like a pro, sound like a pro, act like a pro. And again, treat your buyers like we treat our sellers, and that'll make your business a lot better. So thank you for being on the lead of that. And I love the stuff that I've already seen in there. So great job.
Oh,
All
thank
right.
you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Bye, everybody.
There you go, Victoria Coster. Check that out, Buyer Kit. And of course, guys, if you didn't get the QR code and you didn't get your phone out fast enough, don't worry. You can go into Workplace and type in the search bar at the top, type in Buyer Kit, and it'll pop up a bunch of different posts that have the Buyer Kit, links to the Buyer Kit, and shows you what's in there. All right. So there you go. Okay. Next up, we have Chief Learning Officer Bryon Ellington. He's going to be having a conversation with me real quick, talking about what he's doing and working on next. Bryon, come on down.
Hey, Russ. Good morning. How are you?
I am doing great. Great to see you every Friday. I really enjoy this part.
I know, man. What a great way to start my day, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good as always. You know, it's been one of those crazy weeks. I was in Nebraska this week. I went to Omaha, Nebraska, and you know how that happened?
No.
Somebody said, nobody from leadership ever comes to Nebraska. I'm like, well, I'll fix that. Watch this, y'all. And I showed up in Omaha, Nebraska. And I'll tell you what, I had a great time with the people in Omaha. What a great group of people. And by the way, if you haven't been to Omaha, the city is amazing. They've got a park downtown that I walked around for 3 hours in the one evening. I was like, this place is mind blowing. Who would have thought Omaha was that cool? So super
amazing foodie town too, by the way.
And by the way, there was some good food.
Awesome, man. Well, before we bring on our guests, you mind if I share a few things about what we got going on?
Absolutely love to hear this part.
Awesome. So team leaders, if you missed last Wednesday, or this past Wednesday, 2 days ago, we did the Team Mastery Series kickoff. And if you missed that call, brothers and sisters, you missed that call. We had an amazing time. We had Jesse Zagorski and Carrie Scholl on talking about attracting the right agents to your team. Now, this is a team leader only call series, right? So, you know, standard mega icon teams. What we do is we have a great guest like Carrie, who, by the way, is going from like 25 agents on her team to 125 agents on her team in a year, right? So when we talk about attracting the right agents to your team, lady knows what she's talking about. And so we do the first half of the call is really just kind of picking these experts' brains. And then the second half of the call is we let the team leaders go in breakout rooms by like production so that you have a $100 million team talking to a $100 million team and so on and so forth. And we let them brainstorm on the topic. A lot of really great ideas came out of it. At the end of it all, we share some of the best ideas before we let everybody go on about their days. So that was this past Wednesday. Next one is, and it's going to be the third Wednesday of every month, team leaders. So the third Wednesday of every month, so mark your calendars, it's going to be June 19th, 12 noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. We're going to do hiring great staff. And by the way, we have Dave Knord and we have James Nellis as our guest speakers. That's going to be an amazing session. And then we'll let you guys talk amongst yourselves as well at the second half of that call. So do mark your calendars. Team leaders, the registration email will be emailed to you. We're trying to keep this exclusive to you. There's a lot of people who want to start a team who'd want to have be a part of these calls. We appreciate that, but we're really just trying to keep this exclusively for team leaders. So the email will be in your inbox soon. Look for that June 19th. All right. Also, too, this week, been a busy week, man. We kicked off Kickstart. Now, do you know about Kickstart, Russ?
I do. That's like, I've been telling everybody about it. And I called it, what did I call it? I called it something else start, fast start a couple of times. I'd be like, I'm confused. What is this? Like Kickstart. Yes. Love it. And I've been recommending it to people that are experienced agents too, because half of them don't know what we do.
That's right. Well, my experience in these types of programs is that the experienced agents get in there and realize that it's been a while since they knocked the dust off their database and really approach their business purposefully. So we kicked off Kickstart this Wednesday. Don't worry, you can still register. We're going to be going for the next 6 weeks. And when you register, you can get access to the recording from this past Wednesday. I'm sure Randy and team will drop that in the chat. I think that was going on the reel before we got started. So do get into Kickstart. Whether you're a brand new agent or you're an experienced agent who just wants to take your business to the next level, Kickstart is a place for you. We have amazing speakers come on there and share about their various specialties, give you some great ideas about some things that you can do in your business. And then the last thing for the university, in June, I'm really excited about this. I had a great conversation yesterday with some of our influencers, some of our RevShare org leaders about a program that we're starting to pilot in June. It's called FastCap. Now, we've been interviewing all these top agents who really got off to a great start in their business. As a matter of fact, to be interviewed for this project, you had to have done at least 2 deals in your first 6 months, at least 12 deals in your first year.
Nice.
In the business, right? So these are people who were really getting after it fast. And we learned a lot from them. And so we're taking all of that and we're distilling that into a 6-week program. It's going to be 18 sessions. And
Nice.
we're calling that Fast Cap. Now, this is not an educational program, right? Yes, we will share with you great training and things of that nature, but I differentiate between an education program and a
Yes.
productivity program. And this, my friend, is a productivity program. We are going to kick your butt. We are, but in the best, most loving way possible. We're going to get your business going like it's never gone before, especially if you're a newer agent. We're really going to help you get off to a great start. We're going to help you with all your business operation systems. We're going to help you get into the right daily habits, such an important part of succeeding in anything. And then we're also going to bring the energy, the celebration. So we do 3 sessions a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Friday, we call it Tribe Day because that's our day to come together as a tribe, celebrate successes. We have a leaderboard. We'll be giving out prizes. We'll also have a special guest coming in to talk about the topics that they learned that week. It's a whole thing, as Holly Mayberry would say. It's a whole thing. So look out for an invite from your mentor or from your sponsor because we're doing a very limited pilot. And so we're working with the mentors and we're working with some of the influencers who built large organizations to invite some of you into this program. And we really think you're going to love it. Can't wait for that. One less piece of housekeeping. So last week we had Gogo, who is just amazing. Gogo Bethke, if you missed it last week, Gogo is one of the coaches for the new EXP Elevate coaching. She and I talked about attraction and how to do attraction, not with sweaty palms and heavy breath, but really how to attract naturally and how to bring people to you rather than hardcore prospecting, which is a valid form of attraction, but Gogo goes about it in a completely different way and has had a lot of success. So we had her on last week. Next week, we're going to have another Elevate coach come on, and that's Levi Laxick. Now, Levi does a coaching program for Elevate called YouTube Mastery, which is amazing. Next week, he's going to come on and he's going to talk about video and social media in terms of lead generation. We've been having this conversation, Russ, about the NAR settlement. And there's concern. There's concern among a lot of people of, when I put this buyer rep agreement in front of them, what if they say no? Or what if they say, I don't want to pay that much money? And do you know who's not worried about that conversation?
People that have credibility.
People that have credibility, have a value proposition. And in the words of Levi, who's going to be on next week, people who have that next appointment, people who are lead generating. Right. And when you lead generate the right way, by the way, those conversations, either they don't happen at all. They just sign where you tell them to sign because they know you, they trust you. Or when they do come up, it's a lot easier conversation to have if you've been lead generating the right way and providing value. So the next couple of sessions, we're going to focus on that. And so today, I'm delighted to bring in my friend, Stephanie Stone-Robb. And we're going to talk a little bit about lead generation through her methodologies as well. So I'm really looking forward to that conversation.
Fantastic. Well, here's the thing. I'm going to let you have at it and jump in with Stephanie. Stephanie, you and Bryon, have fun. I'll see you guys at the end.
All right, man. Wish me luck. All right. Can we get Stephanie on stage? Awesome.
Hello.
How are you, neighbor?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great now. So everybody, I'm in Austin, Texas, and Stephanie is in San Antonio, Texas, the second best city in Texas, as far as I'm concerned.
Unless we're talking about breakfast tacos, then we are the best city in Texas.
Ooh, I'm going to take that
Fighting
challenge.
words.
How are you doing?
Doing really, really well. I'm so honored to be on with you today.
Man, I've been looking forward to this all week. All right, so tell us first a little bit about your business, because you started, relatively not that long ago, right?
Oh yeah, I still feel like the new kid on the block. Got my license at the end of 2018. Honestly, Brent, on a whim. I joked that it was my midlife crisis thing. I was about to turn 40, and I go, you've always wanted a license. We don't know if we're going to do anything with it, but let's just see if you can pass your test by your 40th birthday. It was a personal dare more than anything. Started to kind of dip my toes into what real estate could be for me. Never intended to go full-time real estate. But fast forward, and by the end of my first year, I had quit my full-time job and closed 19 transactions as a rookie agent with no sales experience. It's not like my daddy gave me his real estate business, really built it from the ground up. And again, that feels like yesterday, but gosh, doing the math, what we're now almost 6 years into it, couldn't be happier.
That's funny. Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I had a similar situation. I promised myself I would have my license by a particular date. And in order to make that happen, the only test that I could take was in Houston, which is like 2.5 hours away. And it was like 8 a.m. or something. So I had to wake up at like 5 a.m. on a Saturday and drive to
That's
Houston to take my
dedication.
test. Yeah, man. Hey, I did
Commitment
it.
to the bit.
That's right. All right. So you started off pretty strong in your first year. I mean,
Mhm.
that's pretty good success. But what was remarkable to me is how you did that, right? So
Yeah.
as new agents, right, a lot of us were handed a phone book and said, "Good luck, kid."
Mhm.
Right. But and we're all told, oh, you have to just, just burn up the phones. And yes, by the way, very
Yeah.
valid
It
way
works.
of
Mhm.
doing it. It does work, especially when you're working your sphere effectively. But that's not where the majority of your deals came from. You want to share a little bit about how your first year went out?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I had just moved back to San Antonio. At the time, I was working for a company based out of Denver, Colorado. My husband and I have no kids. We have a small family. So that advice of hit up your sphere, I was like, who? Like, oh, please show me who they are, because I don't feel like I have them. So I went with what I knew my strength to be, which was social media, something that I was very comfortable with, and something that I felt like I could take my prior experience and go, okay, well, how can I now use it to play in this real estate space? So, like most new agents, I kind of just threw everything at the wall to see what stuck. And what I kept coming back to and finding success with was Facebook groups. So,
Mm,
not running paid ads, not doing what people traditionally think of social media marketing, or just putting up a post of, "Hi, I'm in real estate. Call me if you need anything." It was, how do I initiate conversations? And I knew that if I could just initiate a ton of conversations, then I was going to close deals. I was going to find my new sphere of influence. I was going to build that sphere of influence. So, really coming in to looking at social media in a different way, and looking at those spaces where people were already having conversations about other things, and then coming in and being that person who fit into that real estate or into that Facebook group, but also did real estate. So I know you and I, when we talked, coming into some of the social things that I'm involved in, I have French bulldogs. I joke that I'm the real estate agent for French bulldog
yeah,
owners in San Antonio, because we're now at a point where anybody asks a real estate question, I get tagged in it.
yeah.
Just hobbies that I have, and so it was a great way to lead generate, but have fun with it. Lead generate with people who I kind of knew were already going to kind of get me and get my vibe and my energy and what I was about. And we would have things in common organically. And really coming in and providing service and being generally curious about what people's needs were.
Yeah, and you and I talked about this, and this is such an important concept. Here's what NAR says. NAR says for about every 100 people, about 8 are going to move,
Hmm.
right, in a given year. And so then the question is, okay, so for every 100 people, roughly about 8 are going to move. How many of those are you actually going to capture? Honestly, how many of those are you going to capture? Is it 2? Is it 3? It's not going to be 8, by the way. It's just
No,
not going to be,
definitely not.
right?
It's not that easy.
Right. And so however many that is, let's just say 2, right? So if that's the case, and if your goal is 20 transactions in a year,
Hmm.
well, that means you don't need 100 people. That means you need 1,000 people in your sphere. And so the question is, first, how are you working your sphere? Do those 8 people even know who you are, that you're in real estate and that you could help them? Do they see value in you? Are you contributing to them on a regular basis? And then the other question is, how are you putting those other 900 into your sphere? How are you doing that? And so you chose social media, and we're going to get into that
Yeah.
in a little bit too, because I really want them to understand the details. By the way, get your pencil ready. She's going to give you some great advice. Trust me.
Yeah.
But before we do that, so you did about 19 or so, I think you said, your first year.
Yeah.
Second year, 36, 38, something like
Yeah.
that.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then 42, 43. Is that about right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So by the way, just take a step back for a second. That's that curve, right? That's what happens as you're adding to your database over time. Your business keeps going. And so fast forward, you now have a team, right?
Correct. Yeah.
You want to talk about 2023? How'd you do 2023?
Yeah, so 2023 was really that first year of going, you know what? I love being an icon agent. It's an amazing program here at EXP, an amazing benefit. But now I need to shift what my business model looks like and now help other agents do what I did. So 2023 was kind of a big growth year for the Stone team. We've expanded in kind of wherever the great state of Texas exists. So Dallas, Austin, Houston, El Paso. We're about to bring an agent in Abilene to handle some of our West Texas stuff.
Wow.
So as a team, number one, I feel like we're the Bad News Bears, a real estate team. We are that team that loves the new agents. We're the team that goes, you haven't closed anything in 2 years. Come here, mom's going to take care of you, and we're going to fix this together. So for us to be little Bad News Bears, closing almost or just over 30 million in real estate in 2023, and being on track to hit that mega icon with, again, a bunch of struggling agents, a bunch of brand new out of real estate school agents. I couldn't be prouder of those agents taking what I'm sharing with them. And, I tell my agents, if I know how to do something, you're going to know how to do it, and taking it and running with it.
Okay. Well, and so by the way, newer agents, a little less experienced agents, this is what she's doing on her team, right? So now she's going to make all of EXP her team really quickly, and she's going to teach us
Yeah.
how to do this. So let's talk about it. All right. So
Sure.
okay. So you said Facebook. So what are we doing on Facebook? How do I get involved? Share with us first, like the kinds of pages that you're joining and creating, things like that.
Absolutely. So when we're talking Facebook groups, for me, it was always joining an existing group. So broke them up into two different categories. So one being those things that I would be a part of even if I wasn't in real estate. So again, French Bulldog owners, fans of true crime podcasts in San Antonio, all those things, if you're a hiker, if you love bourbon, if you're a cigar, whatever your vibe is, moms of San Antonio, whatever you fit into. So that number one. And then number two, looking for either neighborhood groups or, Homes for Rent San Antonio, Apartment Hunters San Antonio. So the things that were more real estate specific or geographic specific, and focusing on those two things. For the more social aspect, keeping an eye because inevitably people will go to that group that they trust. Hey, this isn't dog related. Hey, this isn't podcast related, but does anybody know of a rental that'll let me bring my dogs? Does anybody know of an apartment complex in this school district? Does anybody know about down payment assistance? I've heard this thing, but does anybody have a realtor that knows about this? And I can raise my hand and go, don't worry, I got you. We already have something in common. It helps to bridge that trust. On the other side, on those things that are more either geographic or real estate or, buy, sell sort of groups. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That was really where my proactive approach came into play. And this is probably where folks want to start getting pen to paper.
Okay.
We see in those groups a lot of times real estate agents doing things that are very passive. Hey, here's a property for sale. Hey, check out this beautiful new build. And people are like, great, but they don't really understand if it's for them or how it can be for them. So for me, being a new agent, I had just bought my first house not long before that, still remembering what it was like. So I was like, I'm going to tap into those folks who have that big question mark when it comes to home ownership. So I started posting, I'm looking for renters who are wanting to become homeowners. Just need to have 2 years of job history, 580 credit score. If you're not there yet, we can help get you there. There are down payment assistance programs available for the state of Texas. If you'd like to learn more, comment below. So do you want info? I'm not trying to sell you a house. I'm not trying to even sell you on me. Is there something that you don't know or something that maybe you didn't realize was a possibility? You just want to dig into it more. And I would get
providing value.
Exactly. Comment below. I would send DMs. Like you said, it's a numbers game. Maybe a third of them would respond to that direct message. But that's how I really built my database. And then it became a very simple conversation to start. Okay, you're looking for a house. When you close your eyes and you picture that house that you're moving into, what are you picturing? So more than what do you need? It's like, let's dig into that heartstring. So I would find out, we have a baby on the way. We need more space. My kid's getting older. We don't have a backyard for them to play in. I've always wanted to own a house, but I don't have tens of thousands saved up for a down payment. So I was hearing all of these pain points, these things that people sometimes were maybe too afraid to admit or come forward. But there was that trust where I can go, Hey, if you're not there,
Yeah.
we can get you there. Hey, we have options. Just talk to me and we'll figure out that option for you. And it worked so well to build that rapport from step one.
I love that. It's there's so much about what you just said. Um, First off, serving the underserved.
Mhm.
What a powerful thing to do. And what's interesting is when we first get into real estate, a lot of us think we got to say, "Hello, world," like everybody's going to listen,
Yeah.
and we get very fearful about narrowing in and about niching and
Mhm.
targeting because we think, well, there's not enough customers there. Well, I think about like Procter and Gamble, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So they dominate the toothpaste space, and then they go to the mouthwash, and then they go to the dental floss, and then they go to the right. And similarly, you got your French bulldog niche, but then you have these other niches as well, and I really love that, and I love the idea of coming from value. So many of us are fearful of outreach in our business because we're afraid of being annoying, coming off as salesy or sleazy or whatever, and just coming from contribution and all the what shows up as a result of that.
Yeah.
And the other thing that you said, that question, tell me again the dreaming question, the close your eyes
Oh,
question.
yeah. So when you close your eyes and you picture yourself in that next house, what are you picturing?
Yeah.
Um, and
What
if
a
just really,
great way to just
yeah,
get them to open up.
dials into that daydream.
Yeah. Yeah. And really connects too on a
Mhm.
personal level. All right, so let's pick up where we left
Sure.
off. All right, so now we've been making these amazing posts. By the way, before we get to the
Yeah.
follow through, how many times are you posting on a given week?
Um, it varied just depending on how big the response was. I'm very like stick to a schedule, like know what my threshold looks like. So if those responses were too much for me to like flow into that schedule, so maybe I'd skip a week of posting. I found that posting on Tuesday evenings and Thursday evenings, I would get more response. And it makes sense, Friday night, nobody's like they're out having dinner, doing things, hanging out with friends. They're not like thinking about real estate. Monday, they're too tired from restarting that work week. So hitting on those days that were a little bit more casual, and I would try to stick to a Tuesday, Thursday schedule of making some sort of post. And found that to be really, really successful unless, there was something else that took precedent.
Yeah, and I had a friend who was big time social media person,
Mhm.
and he was very regimented as a person.
Yeah.
And he would do like Monday motivational quote,
Mhm.
Tuesday would do this, but he would do them all in advance. So he'd do
Yeah.
like a tranche of them, three or
Mhm.
four posts that he had all ready to
Yeah.
go, and a lot of different depending upon where you're
Yeah, yeah.
posting. Some social media tools allow you to even schedule posts in advance.
Mhm.
So you can just kind of knock it all out at once. Is that were you kind of taking a similar approach sometimes?
Sometimes, for me, I wanted to make sure that I was gonna be available right after that post
Ah,
went up live, because I also wanted the moment that they commented, "Great, I'm there." So, it was a lot of watch, refresh, click on a profile, send a friend request, send out that direct message. So pre-scheduling and knowing that I'd be absent from the computer didn't work out. And the few times that I tried, I was like, oh, I'll get to it in the morning. That response rate dipped uh, pretty
mm,
heavily. So, for those agents that are, great at sticking to a schedule or want to start incorporating to a schedule, I would include it in the same sort of prospecting time, like if you were calling expireds or calling FISBOs or, calling your CR, that sort of chunk of time where I'm dedicated, I'm focused in, and that's a great way to approach it.
I love that. I love that. All right, so we've been doing our
Mhm.
posts, we've been effective,
Mhm.
and now we've got people commenting and things like
Mhm.
that. And you mentioned that you're going to start direct messaging.
Yeah.
Take me through the follow through process because my
Yeah.
experience is, we all hope that we like. I always use open houses, right? We all hope we hold an open house and like the suitcase full of money
Exactly.
walks in the door and the buyer goes, "Oh, I love it. I'll take it." And
Yeah.
cool if that happens. Great cocktail story.
Yeah.
Ain't why we do open houses, right? And so the money is in the follow up. So take us
Mhm.
through your follow up process. How
Yeah.
would you work these folks or cultivate these
Yeah.
leads rather over time?
Absolutely. So once I learned what they were looking for and maybe a little bit about any pain points or concerns that they had, number one, get them into your CRM. Without fail, if you don't do it right away, that message is going to fall further and further down to the bottom. and they're going to fall by the wayside. So once I had just a little bit of their picture and I felt like they understood me, great. What's a great email address for you? Because I'm going to send you some properties that match that daydream. And what's a good cell phone number for you? I don't always check Facebook as frequently as I check my texts. So that way I can text you my number. That way you have it. Great. Now we have everything we need to have them as a contact in our CRM. I follow through on my promise. So I'm going to send you some properties that match your daydream. And I didn't care if they go, you know what, it's March 1st. I just signed a new lease 2 weeks ago. Great. This is the perfect time to start planning. Today is always the perfect time to start planning for something for the future. I don't care what that looks like. So getting them something that they could visualize that daydream. I tell them, give me feedback. I don't own any of these houses, so you can't hurt my feelings. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, what you want to shift over to, and we'll laser focus. And then the other thing that I would really love to do for you is let's get you connected up with someone who can do a deeper dive on the financial side and see what special programs you might qualify for. There may be something for you, or maybe something that now we have a specific financial target to work towards. Maybe your credit score isn't quite there to qualify for down payment assistance. But if that's what we're working towards, then we know we can follow on that journey with you. We can build that roadmap. So I would go, great. I'm going to loop you in on a text with someone who can take a look at your information. If you have someone you trust, of course, we want you to work with them. But at least we can get that conversation started. And so it made that introduction to the lender, which is honestly the reason why people are hesitant to talk to us. The reason why people are hesitant to move forward. They're not hesitant to move forward because they don't want to look at houses. They're hesitant because they're worried about the financials. So making that introduction just comfortable and like, I'm here to help. We're here to help. We're here to find a solution. And when we can talk about solution versus let's figure out what you're qualified for, or let's figure if we can get you approved. There's so much weight in those words. So coming in as we're going to just investigate and we're going to put together a plan together. And it really helped to ease those fears in that segment of the population.
Yeah. It's funny. I was, we were at EXPCon Canada last week, and I was talking to a group of the top 50 Canadian solo agents. And my experience has been that the most successful agents I've talked to, when I asked them about their biggest regrets starting off in the business, to a T, it is always, I didn't build my database soon enough. If I wished I had done it, how much business would I have had I done it? And the visual I always have in my mind is as you make these connections and as you build these relationships, because of the way that home buying is done today versus how it was done in the past, we're meeting people far in advance of their purchase decision. Sometimes 18 months, sometimes 2 years before they make that decision. And when we have those initial conversations and we realize, okay, we're some time out because of credit issues or whatever, there's a temptation to go, okay, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah. Call me when you're ready. They will not call you.
Call me when you're ready. Oh, and of course they're going to do that, right? Instead of having a system that allows you to stay in touch and to your point, add value, because that's what you're doing. These folks who are in desperate need of credit repair and don't know what to do, you're bringing real value to them by helping them overcome these challenges, by getting them in touch with the lenders or credit repair people or whatever it is their need is. That's value, such that when they are ready, who else are they going to choose but you? Right. I mean, it may happen that they have a cousin Larry or whatever, and cool. So what? If you build out that database and have,
I don't care about Larry.
Don't care about Larry. Good luck. Hope Larry does it for you. But for you, I love the approach and the CRM. By the way, just curious, real estate voyeurism. What CRM are you using?
KV Core. I love it. And I am a big fan of things like that, mass text, mass email. I using those methods that we talked about with, Facebook, probably 1,200 leads alone came into my CRM through just that. I would not have the time to physically text everyone or physically email or physically call. So knowing that, hey, you know what? Tomorrow's the 4th of July. Click mass text. Hey, I just wanted to wish you and your family a happy, safe 4th of July. Y'all doing anything fun? And not even have to talk about real estate, but continue to be a part of their journey to be able to stay top of mind, to continue to truly become their friend in the industry. I think that's really where that scalable success is going to come from, having something that you can amplify your numbers, but not have to triple, quadruple the time that you're spending.
Yeah, mixing in those personal touches, that's such an integral part of building that relationship. All right, final advice for us all as your EXP team listening intently
Yeah.
about how to build our businesses.
Yeah, the final advice that I can give is it's really about two things. It's accumulation and conversation. So find that way that you enjoy. Number one, you have to enjoy what you're doing in terms of your prospecting. You have to prospect, you've got to pick something, but find that thing that you enjoy, whether it's social media, whether it's making calls, whether it's hosting 2 open houses a week, whatever that is, and really focus on building those numbers, but not missing that piece of conversation. If you're ever worried that you're reaching out to somebody too much, you're probably not. Unless they've told you you're getting all these taking me off your list constantly, you're probably not crossing over that threshold. So
Yeah,
treat everybody like you are their friend and you will become their friend in the industry.
fantastic advice. Hey, thank you so much for pouring
Thanks,
into us. We
Bryon. Thank you
really
so much.
appreciate you. Thank you all for being part of this and listening to Stephanie. We really appreciate that. Russ, are you back there?
I am. I'm hanging out here writing notes. Look, I'm scribbling notes on my little Remarkable reader. By the way, I tagged my
Isn't she
sister-in-law.
awesome?
Yeah.
Oh, did you? That's awesome.
Tagged my sister. I'm like, Aunt Jeanette, you need to see this, right? This is the kind of thing that like the average person can and should do this. And by the way, I love teaching that style too. It's like build a relationship business, doing stuff you love. Mind-boggling.
How easy is that, and how much pressure does that take off your shoulders, and how much more proud of yourself do you feel when you're adding that kind of value to people on a consistent basis? Yeah, I love it.
We get so many people that they get taught to do things like that. Nobody got into the real estate business. It's like, dude, I want to be a telemarketer super bad. I'm getting into real estate.
Can't wait.
Never heard anybody say that yet. And I was like, hey, if you want to build your business, why not go out and do stuff you love, dogs, whatever, right? You can build your whole business hanging out at dog parks around town. Like you tie that with what Levi Lassick is going to talk about next week. Like you could be dog whisperer for the whole city, and everybody's like, "That's a dude that did a preview of every dog park in town," and you know everybody. I mean, that's the kind of lifestyle business that makes it a ton of fun. What am I doing Saturday? Going to build my business at the dog parks.
At the dog park, and they show up. They already know and love you. They tell their friends about you, and your life just gets that much better authentically. That's amazing.
Absolutely.
All right,
So, love it. Thanks a bunch, brother. Great session.
Thanks for letting me come play. See you next time.
You got it. All right, there you go, guys. This is tons of great stuff. I love it when people do stuff, and it, like for me, that kind of thought and that kind of business resonates. If you guys ever see me teach, training, coach, like that's next level stuff of just doing a lifestyle type of business. So there you go. All right, so we've got a couple things left here for today. We've got our survey, of course. I want to make sure you guys do the NPS survey. The NPS survey is basically you guys grab your phone, open up your camera, aim it on that thing right there, and give us a rating on a scale of 1 to 10. Let us know how we're doing. It's super important that we get the feedback. And by the way, guys, the NPS ratings on these sessions over the last quarter have been off the chart. So thank you that you guys are showing us that we're doing the right stuff and going the right direction. So give us a rating on a scale of 1 to 10. Let us know how we did this week. And by the way, give us some suggestions if you want to add something to it. And if you like something, make sure you mention that too. All right, so there you go on that. So we've got one thing we've got left coming up. We've got a video that's going to give us some icon recognition video that's coming up. And then directly after that, we've got iConversations with live icon agents talking about how to take your business to the next level. I'm Russ Laggan. I will see you guys next week.